everybody. Welcome to another super awesome day. It is very hot outside, let me tell you. Saying it's feeling like 108 degrees in Boca. Whew, rough. Anyway, welcome to episode 18 of I'm Not Confined, but I Probably Should Be. And we're gonna make ourselves some really good food today. I hope you're looking forward to it. Because today, we're gonna do our second part of our cereal. And you see, we had some extra recipes that we didn't want to use as part of our program, our competition, but we thought they were pretty good recipes that we came up with, so we're going to throw them out there today and see if you guys like them. Here we go. So today's recipes require some prep work. So we're going to do the prep work right now, and then we'll do the cooking a little bit later. But we're going to show you what everything is for the prepping. There's 3 dishes total. One of them does not require any prep, so that's just going to go right into whatever we're going to make. The other 2 do require some time of pre-arranging. So let's see what we got. All right, the first thing we're going to make is we're going to make some ground beef. These are some ground chuck slider burgers, but we're not going to keep them in this particular shape right now. Just going to pull them out and dump them in our bowl here. So we need to make some arrangements with them because they're not in the condition we want them in yet. Get them mixed up in there so it's all one gooey meatball. That's pretty good. And I have some shredded wheat. Can you read that? Okay. And these are the big bars, so I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to crunch it up over top of the meat. This is going to help give us a little bit of body in these burgers, which we're going to need later because we're going to do something to them that's going to make it necessary. So mix this in. There we go. And now we're going to mix in some beef broth, if I can get it open. Probably should have opened this before I tried to mix with the beef, because my hands are all sticky now, slimy. Hey, that was easy. Okay, now we got it open. Gonna take about around 2/3 of a cup, half cup to 2/3 of a cup of beef broth. And we're not gonna put that all in there necessarily. We're just gonna eyeball it and try and see when we get the consistency we want. Put some in there, and then mix it together. We don't want it runny, but we also want it to be easily smoothable. more. That's pretty good. All right, we have a baking pan, and we have some parchment paper. Don't annoy me. All right, and lay the meat down on the parchment paper. Start to spread it out. I have a wooden rolling pin, so I'm not going to use the rolling pin on this just because it's beef and it'll stick to it and make it annoying. So I'm using my hands, which is fine. It's just not as efficient if you have like a plastic rolling pin or a porcelain one. We're going to try and get it to uniformity. Fills up the bottom of this pan. You have some heavier spaces, just kind of push them over. And if you do separate it or split it open, just, close back up again. You have pretty much covered the bottom here. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to take a knife and we're going to put some score marks in our meat. Carefully, because you can tear it while you're doing this. Some of you may see where I'm going with this and what this is going to end up being. Some of you not. Okay, that's separated out pretty good. Now, what we need to do is we need to take a straw, which, again, hands are slimy. This shouldn't be this hard. Fine, knife. Okay, a straw. And we're going to make 5 holes in each one of these little squares. Just like the 5 on a dice, right? So little holes. Holes. We'll speed this part up for you guys. Okay, and that is our holes made. Ours are meat flowed out. And now what we do with this is we pop it into the freezer for half an hour to an hour. No more than overnight. You definitely don't want to leave it more than overnight. All right, so I've made some arrangements. I've made the preparation for a lot of this stuff already. I've set it all up and just put it into its different component parts. I did some mincing, I did some chopping, I did some stuff. We've got 1.5 cups of water. We've got half a cup of rice vinegar. We've got 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. We have 1/4 cup of lemon juice. We've got 2 tablespoons of orange juice. Half a teaspoon of minced ginger. Half a teaspoon of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of chopped green onions, and a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, a cup of brown sugar, and the last thing that we need to do is we're zesting this orange. So I need a tablespoon of orange zest. So we're about halfway there right now. This zesting plane is very nice, works very well. And my kitchen smells like orange, which is always a nice thing. I had a teacher in high school who would put an orange essence in his classrooms because orange, just the scent of it, wakes you up. So he wanted all of his students to be attentive, and it was really nice. You'd walk in there and be like, ah, I'm awake, that's good. You feel refreshed. That's good. All right. So what we want to do now is we're going to take all of our liquid pieces of ingredients and put them into a bowl, or a pot. Sorry, pot. That's our orange juice, 2 tablespoons of orange juice, 1/2 cup of rice vinegar, 1½ tablespoons of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and 1½ cups of water. And we're going to bring that to a boil. All right, we've got this approaching its boiling point, so we're going to add in our other ingredients now. Here's our ginger, and our garlic, and our onions, and our red pepper flakes. I'll go in there. The orange zest, and the brown sugar, which is a packed brown sugar, by the way. A cup of it. Now bring that back up to a boil. Okay, we've reached a boil with our ingredients here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these off the heat now and let them cool for 10 to 15 minutes. All right, the next step that we need to do is we have some chicken, and we're going to pound it down, and then we're going to slice it into strips. So I put down a piece of wax paper to kind of maintain all right, that's pretty good. The wax paper was to prevent splatter, if you hadn't seen me say that once before. Ha-ha! And we're going to slice these into, 1/2-inch strips or so. All right, take the pieces that are, exceptionally long and cut them in half. So you have a little bit more bite-sized pieces. If you want, you can cut them in 3s. That's fine too, if that's what seems appropriate for you. Just remember that when you cook them, they will get smaller. So don't make them too small. Okay, that's good. A Ziploc bag, and we're going to put these suckers inside the Ziploc bag. And then we're going to take about a cup of our cooled down mixture and pour that in there with the chicken. Okay. Seal that up, put it in the refrigerator to marinate for about 2 hours-ish. No less than 45 minutes, but probably no more than 2 hours. Well, no more than overnight. Yeah, because the acid in the lemon juice and the orange juice will start to cook your chicken, and you don't want that. So you don't want it to go too long, but you could probably get away with going up to 24 hours. But like I said, I suggest between 45 minutes and 2 hours, depending on how much time you have before your dinner is going to be time. Now we're preparing a little bit of sauce, red sauce, marinara sauce of sorts. And you can do this any way you like. I've already showed you how to make 2 different types of sauce for myself. And this is a very reduced version of my sauces. Just some tomato paste and some water and some spices. No pepperoni, no beef, or no meat in it. Just the sauce itself, because this is gonna be for a pizza. So you want to be a little bit more smooth with the sauce. You don't want it to be chunky and heavy sauce. So this is just an easy sauce. Tomato paste. You can use a jarred sauce if you want. That's totally up to you. Like I said, I'm just making an easy tomato paste, water, and spices sauce. It's got some garlic in it and some oregano and chili powder, and I'm gonna put putting the Parmesan cheese in here. And it's just, I'm making it to taste. So once it reaches a taste I like, then I'm ready to use it. In the meantime, I have a pizza crust here. It's a cauliflower pizza crust that I purchased. It's not something that I made, so nothing weird there. And I have some Chex Mix. And we're going to spread this Chex Mix out over top of the pizza crust, covering pretty much all of it, every inch, just to make it look like it's a full Chex Mix covering. You can leave some edges at the edge for your crust, depending on how you like to have your pizza. Some people like edgeless, some people like to have a crust. I like a little bit of a crust. So we're going to go close to the edge, but not all the way to the edge. Ooh, that's boiling already. Down to a little bit of a simmer. So here we have what the pizza with the Chex Mix on it looks like, or the Chex, no, it's not Chex Mix, it's just Chex cereal with the pizza with the Chex on it looks like. All right, now our sauce is pretty much done. We are going to, normally when you're making a pizza, you would just ladle out the sauce onto the crust and just kind of mush it around. But since we have the Chex Mix in the way, we're gonna have to be a little more careful than that. So I'm gonna use a big spoon and just kind of dole it out. Try not to get too much sauce anywhere in specific, because you don't want it to be overpowering. All right, we're going to use our special cheese blend that I've taught you about how to make before. Mozzarella, 2 parts mozzarella, 1 part mixed cheeses. Now we take this over and we're going to put it on our turntable, my Pizzone pizza maker. Gets about 13 minutes. All right, we've got our scored meat ready to go. It's been in the freezer. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take a bunch of the beef broth and pour it into the bottom of our pan here. going to mix in some minced onions. I don't like a lot of this, so we're not going to put a lot in there. Just for taste. Same thing with some pepper. And some salt. Make sure you have enough of this, about a half a cup to cover the pan. And then you're going to take your meat and you're going to place it inside the pan. And then inside the oven at 450 degrees. For 7 to 10 minutes. And don't look inside the oven because you're steaming in there and you do not want the steam to evaporate. You want it in there for as long as possible. So let it sit. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Look in the window of your oven to see when they're done. You'll see them turning brown. So cook time. Let's remind myself at 8 minutes and start. Now that we have our chicken marinated, we are going to make a nice little concoction to bread our chicken with. And for that, we're going to use some cornflakes. Get them down to a nice powder. You want them at the consistency of flour because we're going to use them in place of flour. So that would be very difficult to do with a mallet trying to pulverize them down. So you probably will need some sort of a food processor or like the bullet like I have. And we want to get a cup's worth. So looks like I got about almost a half a cup with that last bit, so try it again. All right, we got 1 cup of that. We're gonna put that in a plastic bag. All right, very good. We're also going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper in there. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Going to mix it up real good so it's all intermixed. Very good. Check my burgers. Oh, got to make some space for them. There you go. Gonna empty off a little bit of this extra broth because it's a little bit much at this point. Still want some in there. But the next thing we're gonna do, got some cheese here, some deli sliced cheese, thinly sliced deli cheese. Put that on our burger areas. And then, I'm going to place our slider rolls right on top, just like so. And put them back in the oven for another 5 minutes or so. All right, back to what we were doing with the chicken. We have our chicken, which has been marinated and finished in the marinade. What we're going to do with that, we're going to take it out and put it into our batter stuff. Seal up our bag. And give it some really good tossing in there. Get all that chicken covered with it, all that stuff. Okay, that's well covered in there. And now, we're going to put it in our air fryer. Creating a nice single layer in the air fryer. We don't want it to add too much. Okay, and this is going to go 10 minutes at 390 degrees. All right, our White Castle Crystal Burger clones are out of the oven. Let's see about getting them ready to eat now. I'm going to empty off all this excess broth, because otherwise it's going to make everything all messy and mushy. Get a knife. Cut ourselves down according to the scoring from the burgers, or the buns. Give us a knowledge of where everything is. So, I've taken the chicken out of the air fryer and I've put it into this pot, which has our reduction in it, or our orange reduction that we were working on before. And I've put a little bit of cornstarch in there to try and thicken it up a little bit, just so that it becomes more of a syrup than a sauce. And it's thickened up really good. And we're just moving these around inside there, the chicken bits I mean, so they get nice and covered. They're pretty much already cooked from being in the air fryer, but we're going to keep them warm in here while we finish with what the rest of we're doing. And this is just on a low setting on the stove. In the meanwhile, I'm trying to get some ginger cut here. Some fresh ginger. I want it cut into very, very small bits. It's even smaller than dicing. And what I've done is I've just shaved some ginger here. So it's ginger shavings that I'm trying to get down to little teeny tiny flakes. I'm probably not going to be able to get it as low as I want it to, but I'm going to do the best I can to try and get it to be as manageable. About half a teaspoon of ginger flakes. Nope. Where did I put it? Oh, right there, right in front of me. Silly. Now we're going to do 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Do a tablespoon of peanut oil. And we're going to do probably about half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Stir that up. Makes a nice fun mixture right there. Leave that over there for a second. Pull out our skillet. If you have a wok, that would be great to use on this too, but I don't have a wok, so no wok for me. And I've made some lo mein. Just a regular lo mein, making it in water. Put that in this skillet. should be enough. You don't want to go crazy. All right, we got our pan sizzling now. That's where we wanted it. So we're going to add our oil soy sauce mixture. It's just going to go over top and spread it around all the noodles so they get flavorified. All right, well, everything looks amazing. I think we did a pretty good job. What do you think, Teddy? So what do you want to start with? Start with taking off my hat. That's what I'm starting with. Okay. Well, the pizza was the first thing done, so let's try that first. This is a cauliflower Chex cereal pizza. Very crunchy. Taste the Chex just a little bit. Yeah, that's very good. All right. Let's move on to the shredded wheat White Castle burgers. Yeah, they look pretty close to White Castle burgers. They taste pretty close to White Castle burgers. Don't taste the shredded wheat though. Maybe you need a little bit more of it to influence the flavor. Maybe I should have used frosted wheat. That might have tasted, given a different flavor. Anyway, they're good. If you're looking for a way to replicate White Castle or Crystal burgers, this is it. Okay. And now, let's try the Asian-inspired cornflake orange chicken and lo mein with a Fruity Pebbles garnish. Let's try the lo mein first. Get some of the Fruity Pebbles on there. That's nice. That's a good flavor. That little bit of sweet is very nice. Let's see what the chicken says. Chicken's delicious. That's great. Great protein. Here you go, Teddy. Try this one. Yeah, the orange and the Fruity Pebbles, they go together really well. So yeah, I think you'll like it. It's good. I think the flavor of the cereal in all these dishes, it's good that we didn't do them for the competition, because the flavor of the cereal really doesn't come out that much. You know, laying over the pebbles is kind of a cheat, so I'm not going to really count that as, you know, having been flavor infused by the recipe. So it's good. It's good that we didn't use these, but these are still really good recipes. And yeah, good on us. Yay! All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you you think maybe you might want to make some of these recipes. If you do, drop me a line. I can send you the direct copy of the recipes, so you'd have to pull it off of the video over time. But it is a good tool for cooking. And all right, everybody. This has been episode
18.
of I'm Not Confined, but I Probably Should Be. And we shall see you next time. Chef Teddy and Paul, next Sunday. Bye-bye!